Hello, my name is Donovan Campos and I'm here to report on an event that is being called Bleeding Kansas. If you do not know much about it, don't worry, fellow viewer, because I'm here to tell you all about it. Now, this all started because of a little-known politician that you probably don't know about. He goes by the name Franklin Pierce. He was chosen as the candidate for the Democratic Party because he said that he would support the Compromise of 1850 and the Fugitive Slave Act. Southerners trusted him because of this. The Whigs, opposing party, knew that choosing war heroes worked out for them most of the time, so they chose a Mexican-American war hero named Winfield Scott. Pierce won that election by a landslide. In his inaugural address, Pierce said that he hoped that the slavery issue was put to rest. Sadly, it was revived when there was a proposal to build a railroad to the West Coast. This proposal was made by Stephen Douglas, who supported the idea ever since he joined Congress in the mid-1840s. This caused an issue because it would make the remainder of the Louisiana Purchase into federal territory. They would then turn into free states. Southerners did not agree with this plan, and they suggested a railroad track from New Orleans to Southern Carolina instead. Douglas asked some Southern senators to support him, and they would only agree if the new territory to the west allowed slavery. People that were anti-slavery were enraged by this act because they believed there was a plot to make the free territory into a land filled with slaves and masters. The vote for the act happened in March 1855. Around 5,000 pro-slavery voters had crossed the border from Missouri to vote, but then went back home. Kansas was largely pro-slavery now because of this. In May 1856, a judge that was pro-slavery charged some leaders of the anti-slavery government with treason. Nearly 800 people came to the city of Lawrence to arrest those leaders, but they had already fled. The group took out their anger by setting fires and looting buildings. Someone died in the attack, and it eventually became known as the Sack of Lawrence. There was a man known as John Brown who was an abolitionist. He had moved to Kansas the same year as the Sack of Lawrence, and it inspired him to fight fire with fire, and also made him want to put fear in the hearts of the pro-slavery. On May 24th, 1856, him and his men killed 5 pro-slavery men in Kansas. This became known as the Pottawatomie Massacre. The men that were killed were dragged out of their homes and killed with swords. After this, Kansas fell into a civil war. Around 200 people were killed. This series of events became known as Bleeding Kansas. Last but not least, there was an event in which Senator Charles Sumner was beaten by Preston Brooks with a walking cane. This happened because he criticized Andrew Bower, who was pro-slavery. They were relatives, and it took 3 years for him to be healthy enough to return back to the Senate.